Israel. Who are its enemies and friends? Welcome to Geopolitics Today, your reliable source for a deeper understanding of our ever-changing world. Does Israel only have enemies in the Middle East and North Africa? Why don't Muslim countries near the Gaza Strip take in refugees? These are the questions we'll answer in this video, in a straightforward, quick, and to-the-point manner. Alright, so we have the Gaza Strip here, the West Bank here, and Jordan here. Let's start with Jordan. Jordan currently has an amicable relationship with Israel. They have good economic relations and a common physical attribute, the Jordan River. The Jordan River flows here into the Dead Sea, dividing the two countries. This river is undergoing massive silting, and both countries have joint projects to desilt the Jordan River. Why? Because this river is crucial to the economies of both countries, particularly Jordan, which is economically less prosperous than Israel. Desilting is essential because the Jordan River is a tourist attraction. If the river silted up, meaning it has more sand than water, it will die. Consequently, there will be fewer tourists, and Jordan will collect less revenue, as it heavily depends on tourism. So, Jordan accepts Israel, it's a Muslim country that accepts Israel, and they even have economic agreements. But what about Egypt? Here's where it gets interesting. Firstly, Egypt is not a Middle Eastern, let alone an Asian country, it's an African country. Egypt is located in the northern part of Africa, and it's a major power on the African continent, with over 100 million people. It was the birthplace of great human advancements thanks to the ancient Egyptians of the pharaoh's time. Then we had the Arab occupation and the adoption of the Muslim religion. The only common things between Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and the Palestinians are the Arabic language and the Muslim religion, nothing more. Okay, Egypt fought Israel in the Six-Day War, and later in the Yom Kippur War. For the Egyptians, they won the war because they reclaimed the Sinai Peninsula, which is of great importance to the three monotheistic religions. So, post-Yom Kippur War in 1973, Egypt signed a peace treaty with Israel. Following that war, with the help of the United States, Egypt accepted Israel's presence. However, the United States is still providing Egypt with a monthly allowance. Did you know that? It sustains Egypt's economy because Egypt depends on tourism, oil extraction, and, most importantly, the Suez Canal. The current value of this monthly allowance is approximately $1.3 billion per year. This aid is given in the form of loans, grants, and arms sales. So, Egypt is a significant ally of the United States in the region. Not long ago, Egypt signed a treaty with Israel allowing Israeli ships to pass through the Suez Canal, something that didn't occur before. So, there's closeness between Egypt and Israel, especially on an economic basis. With the mediation of the United States between these two countries. Now, many might ask, why don't the people of the Gaza Strip, who share a border with Egypt, seek refuge in Egypt? First, let's talk about Hamas. This is important. Hamas is an arm of the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood is a Sunni extremist group that operates in Egypt. The Muslim Brotherhood won the election after the departure of Hosni Mubarak, the dictator who was ousted during the Arab Spring. The protests in Cairo, particularly in Tahrir Square, led to Hosni Mubarak's deposition. Then came the elections, and the Muslim Brotherhood won. However, the United States stepped in and said, absolutely not. They called in the military and said, we're going to remove the Muslim Brotherhood from power and establish another dictatorship, a military dictatorship. That's right, Egypt is governed by a military junta. Egypt has a president, General Sisi, but it's a military junta that rules the country. So, if you allow the Palestinians to enter Egyptian territory, you will likely have Hamas members with them. These Hamas members could join the Muslim Brotherhood and start operating in Egypt. And Egypt's stance is clear, we don't want a religion-driven country. We're an Islamic country, with a Muslim majority, but we want a government free from religious influences. So, the exclusion of Palestinians from Egypt is due to this. The marriage that exists between Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. Therefore, even up to this point, we have two countries that maintain a friendly relationship with the Israelis, Jordan and Egypt. But now we have two more complicated countries, Syria and Lebanon. Lebanon went to war with Israel because of a terrorist group operating in southern Lebanon called Hezbollah. So, Lebanon, which could be a prosperous nation, a nation close to Europe, a nation with a beautiful coastline, a pluralistic society where women have rights, a place where there's acceptance of Christians, today is in political, economic, and social chaos because of Hezbollah, which continues to attack Israel. So, Israel views Lebanon as an enemy, but in reality, it's Hezbollah. Of course, there are segments of the population in Lebanon that support Hezbollah, but the majority is against the presence of the terrorist group, which advocates for the annihilation and the end of the State of Israel. Now, we come to Syria. Here's one of the significant issues. Also an enemy of Israel, Syria was part of the group of Arab countries that attacked the State of Israel in the Six-Day War and the Yom Kippur War. Syria is an ally of Iran. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad remains in power because of his relationship with Iran, in addition to support from China and Russia. They managed to defeat rebels supported by the United States during the Arab Spring, who wanted to remove Bashar al-Assad from power. So, Bashar al-Assad was able to defeat the rebels because of military assistance from Iran and Russia. Here's the thing, Iran is an avowed enemy of the State of Israel. Iran supports Hamas. Iran supports Hezbollah. Iran supports Bashar al-Assad. So, here we have 3 points, Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah, that are direct enemies of the State of Israel and could potentially unite at some point in a war against Israel, especially following the Hamas attack. Saudi Arabia is more distant, but Saudi Arabia is an important player as one of the great powers in the Middle East, partnering with the United States as well as Israel. It has a vast military and is an enemy of Iran. That's right, Saudi Arabia is a question mark. However, the United States wanted to bring Saudi Arabia closer to Israel. This might have triggered Iran to further incite Hamas, provide more weaponry and money to invade Israel, and create instability. So, these agreements that were being brokered by the United States to bring Israel and Saudi Arabia closer together have virtually fallen apart due to this instability now. Right, but where does this come from? It's the Abraham Accords, being mediated by the United States to normalize relations between Israel and Arab countries. So, the first country to have a rapprochement with the State of Israel, mediated by the United States, was the United Arab Emirates. Shortly after, Bahrain, and then Morocco. So, this rapprochement is already happening because of these Abraham Accords, mediated by the United States, since the Trump administration. With this, the animosity of Arab countries toward Israel is waning. So, the Palestinian issue is losing strength within these countries, but it still persists within the terrorist groups that exist in both the Gaza Strip and Lebanon. So, the only state that is a genuine enemy of the State of Israel that shares a border is Bashar al-Assad's Syria. And Israel knows it's complicated because if Syria takes the first steps and invades Israeli territory, they will likely have Iran's support. Does Russia have an amicable relationship with Israel? Yes, but we're not sure to what extent. So, for a larger war to happen, it can only occur if Syria takes the first steps and invades Israeli territory, along with Hamas and Hezbollah, as the other surrounding countries won't do that. But now, we're curious to know. What do you think? What do you think about Israel's isolation in the Middle East, this rapprochement with other countries, and the United States' involvement in this mediation process? Let us know in the comments, we want to hear your opinion. Thank you for spending this time with us. Make sure to like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell to stay updated on our upcoming videos and remain informed about the current geopolitical landscape. We've also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.